So all that will contribute finally to a sustainable building, a house or a building or whatever. So there are many things. So this knowledge is with the architects now. I think we are glad that we have a new breed of architects now who are equipped with this knowledge, which is a good sign for the future.
Of course, and you feel that this is something that is going to continue and become the norm in Sri Lanka in the future, is it? There's going to be a green revolution here in Sri Lanka?
Actually, that is the world trend at the moment.
Yeah.
Okay.
Going green.
Yeah.
Right,
but you have no choice. Because, especially if you want to sustain this earth for the future generations, right, we have to act fast. So to do that, it's important to know, be aware of this, and act to incorporate this, so that definitely whatever the issues that is there now can be mitigated, can be addressed. I think that's the line of thinking that as a professional and as an institution that we are.
And the plus point is like that with the architects, the other allied professions are also we have the engineers and the project managers and quantity surveyors, facility managers, landscapers, all of them
eco-friendly and sustainable
they're working
design
together on this.
And that's why we have this Green Building Council. Sri Lanka architects also had been founder member of this Green Building Council. We want the Green Building Council was able to get all these professionals together and harness their knowledge and their synergies, and to make use of them together as I would say competent outfit.
So there is a lot of attention for this now in Sri Lanka, and it's been great to speak to you as well about all of these changes, and especially what the architects as a body are doing here in Sri Lanka to really implement these designs into the homes that you build. And now you at home know how you can implement these things as well. So it's really great to be aware of this. Thank you so much for coming on the show and speaking to us about it. I'm afraid that's all the time we have for this segment. It's been great to have you on the show. I hope you had a good morning as well.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
All right, so we'll be back with another segment as well. Now, this is another type of construction, and it's about Saree jacket design. So this is something that's going to be very interesting. Do stay with us here on Good Morning Sri Lanka. Alright, and we're back on the show. You're here with me on Good Morning Sri Lanka, and I have another presenter who has been absent all this time, and I've missed you, Jason. Where have you been?
Where have I been? What is that a question to ask? You know how long it took me to get here? I traveled miles, I climbed mountains to come back to the studio. Don't laugh.
I'm not laughing. This is not me laughing.
Yeah, but I'm here now. So all is good, all is well. The world
morning,
is
Jason.
the way it should be. Good morning to you as well.
All right.
With passion.
We have a very interesting segment coming up, right?
Yeah? What do you have in the studio? I'm curious.
Alright, so we are going to be speaking about Saree jacket designs, and this is something that I'm sure all of you ladies who are watching at home would be very interested in, because I'm interested in this as well. And to speak to us today, we have a designer who's been doing this for quite some time now, and she's Yasisuri Kiribandara, and she is the designer behind the brand Onira.
Hey.
Good morning.
To the show.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Good morning.
It's great to have you.
Since you mentioned ladies would be interested, fellas would be interested in Saree jackets, if you know what I mean, fellas. Yes.
Anyway, to ignore the fact that Jason said that on the show and get right into it. So tell us about your career as a designer. How did you start off?
Well, as just like everyone else, I first started studying it at one of the reputable colleges in Sri Lanka.
Right.
And then from then onwards, I worked in a couple of multinational companies in the export sector. So then that kind of gave me the backing and to build myself up as a strong designer with the exposure that I received working for those companies. And then after a while I thought, okay, fine, you know, I've been doing this for some time and it's time that I move out on my own. And when I first moved out on my own, that was about 2 years ago. what I did was I didn't really go out bam and I didn't do a show or anything. I just started like designing stuff for people that I knew, like my friends and all. And well, just starting to launch my own brand since of late.
And the brand name is
Onira.
Onira. I kind of love that name, Onira.
It has a very exotic sound to it, doesn't it?
Really nicely, actually.
That's nice to hear.
That's the story behind the name, if there is a story. I'm sure there is.
That means to be like the sun. Actually, it's a Sanskrit. It's got a Sanskrit undertone to it. So I was kind of
like the sun.
Yeah. So I was kind of attracted by that entire idea. Like, ooh, be like the sun.
So that's a great. But now you said that you haven't been designing for a long time, but you've already done a few shows actually, and you have won some accolades as well. So tell us about some of these achievements.
Well, so far I've got a few shows that I did which was not on a major scale. I'm actually still working on my first collection, which I'm hoping to showcase at the end of the month at a show.
Okay. And this is a show of your own?
Yeah, this is a show of my own.
Wow. Step up.
Yeah, I suppose so. Last year I took part in fashion design of the competition.
Right.
And I won second runner-up for evening wear. So,
wow.
Did this get you like notice in that fashion industry here in Sri Lanka?
I suppose it did up to a certain extent. Yes, it did, definitely. Because the orders keep coming in.
That's what matters. The orders. And she's probably giggling, like looking at her Facebook page. I've got more orders coming in.
So all of this success that you experienced early on influenced you to start up your own brand.
Yes,
did it?
That is true.
So what are the plans you have, coming up for Onira?
A lot of things, but to start off with, I want to do like an online selling portal kind of thing.
Right.
The brand is gonna have two collections. One is gonna be like an exclusive collection, which is going to be at some of the major stores in Sri Lanka. And of course I would be still working on the one-on-one business, where my certain clients would come direct to me and say, hey, I've got this event and I want this specific outfit done for this specific event, and it's done just for them.
So the personalized, custom-made touch.
Exactly. So couture-like.
Alright, so now I understand you make sari jackets only? Is that correct?
No, not
really. Okay, it's the complete sari.
Yeah, it's a complete sari, and then I'm kind of moving into a sari that is easy to be worn, because I think the hardest thing is when we have to drape 5 yards around us, and then make sure we look nice and we walk nice and all that. So even what I'm going to show you in a while would be something that you can just zip up and just walk off with.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's a zip-up sari, which is like a skirt, but then you have the jacket, of course, separately. But then it's so easy to get into that you don't have to know the whole draping story
that's
to
true.
Actually wear a sari and look nice in it.
Okay. So wait, it's already pre-draped.
Yeah.
And then you attach a zip onto it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really great invention. You should patent that actually before anyone starts copying what you're doing. But if you're going to sort of how you came up with these concepts. Now, traditional saree designs are really evolving nowadays. Right? You see people draping it in so many different ways and going crazy with the jacket designs maybe. But there are so many new things that people are experimenting with. And what are the styles that you think are really becoming prominent these days?
Well, there are loads, and when you talk about saree designs, I think we are mainly influenced by the Indian market. Mainly, like the actresses and all that, because they're like totally with it. And some of the designs which I see are totally trending these days are like the vertical slit openings at the back, heavy embroidery.
I see.
And a lot of like neons and bright colors mixed in, mixes and matches of different fabrics. Like most unexpected fabrics, like you would take a chiffon and maybe a jersey, which would, sometimes you would think, okay, how could a chiffon go with a jersey? But then it would look wonderful on a person's body just put together if you have the right combination. And something which I've noticed I'm thinking would come soon, which I'm hoping to introduce, is actually like cool, easy, comfort wearing, like printed, like if you're wearing a t-shirt. With a sari, and it would be like so comfortable, but still not like you're just a basic t-shirt, but like a funky one that's short and funky, but then kind of loose, That was seen actually worn by Sonam Kapoor, I think.
Yes.
She's a trendsetter.
Yeah.
She is.
She is.
She is.
Oh yes, she is.
Jason knows all
huge
about
with sarees.
Sonam Kapoor trendsetting.
Yes, that I do.
But on that note, I mean, having the right jacket design is key to really pulling off the entire outfit, isn't it?
Yes,
And what
it
are your
is.
thoughts on that?
Well, I think first of all, the fit has to be perfect. The color has to be perfect, because the color that would suit me might not suit you or the other person. And on
Is it based on skin color then?
it's a lot of things. It's all based on skin color, plus the trends, plus the time of the day. I mean, you can't be wearing like a bright red thing if you're going for a morning event. You know, that would just not go, and unless of course you want to like shock the people and, you know, give them a heart attack.
Cause
Stand
a
out.
scandal.
I would love to see a lady in red. See what I just did there? Reference the famous song, Lady in Red.
Kudos to you,
Only
Jason,
in Good
for
Morning
doing
Sri Lanka do we do that.
But yeah, do go on, please. About how the proper silhouette, I'm sure, because, you know, whether it should be sleeveless or long sleeve, there are so many things you have to consider.
The silhouette, it depends on, I think, the body type mainly, because a lot of people would end up wearing things that would not look so good on them, because I guess they're not much informed about it. So yes, you have to be trendy and, you know, with it, of course, but then you've got to still take into consideration like how tall you are, or how your body structure is, what kind of a body shape you have. You have an hourglass shape, are you an apple body? And although we do wear a sari and when you're wearing a blouse, these things do matter. These things must be considered. So I guess, yeah, that's another reason.
What is the new trends though? What are the new
Well, the new trends I would say would be deep backs, like the back line. The neckline should be like really deep.
Okay.
And another one would be asymmetrical lines.
I see. Wow.
Yeah, a lot of asymmetricals are coming in. And something else that I've seen is like wearing a lot of tulle and having like the see-through effect.
Right.
So tulle is really in right now. And
Why am I not seeing these in Sri Lanka? Why? Where are
Well,
these
with
going?
designers like Yasasuri around, you might. Just
Yes,
saying.
I will.
Yeah.
I'll be hanging by her store waiting to... No, I won't. No, I won't
So
do
this
that.
is why all the gentlemen are going to be very interested in our program today as well.
Because I'll be giving all the smarty pants comments. For you men out there, for my brothers, I will do that.
But if you now, going from the jacket to the actual sari, now you specialize in the entire outfit.
Yeah.
The right sari is also pretty key, and especially the way you drape it. So let's talk about up and coming trends in that particular area, and in saris and in draping.
Draping is quite crazy these days. I mean, you have 100 million ways that you can actually drape a sari. There are no rules anymore. Nobody sticks to the rules anymore, and that's the fun part about it. So I guess get creative as much as you want. That's what I would say, as long as it would look, for me, I mean, coming from my point of view, I would say something that's feminine and elegant, but still got that little bit of edge in it. Yes, go for it. But if you're talking about major trends nowadays, I think you would see a lot of the knot tying trend, the sari knot, the fall where you tie the knot on the side.
I see.
That has been there for some time though. And then putting like a lot of trims on the fall. That's in. And the sari in itself, they don't really, nowadays what I'm seeing is that it's not very heavily worked, that it's more light and more modern rather than, you know, like the heavily worked sari that we've seen some time back.